Our guest, former Senator Santanina Rasul. Our topic, Mindanao. We're going to move very quickly, halftime during this episode, but we'll finish up our Mindanao issue so we can get a clear understanding. Senator, so our proposal is to have people in the know, a council of elders that will get together. Is there a religious problem in Mindanao? Because when you go abroad, yan ang sinasabi nila. Yan
No. That
wala.
is,
So socio-economic.
As a matter of fact, long before the Pope enunciated ecumenism, we were practicing it already in Muslim Mindanao. As a matter of fact, doon sa Sulu, for example, where I come from, you have a Notre Dame University. And the students are 99% siguro, or 95% at least, Muslim students. So if there is a religious problem, why will the Muslims go to a Catholic school, a Catholic-run school?
So mali ang base, mali ang analysis.
Mali.
Bakit ganun lumalabas? They're just blaming religion?
No, kasi it just so happened the insurgents are Muslims. And the government is a Christian government. Kaya nga, so ang ginawa nila parang Muslim religious, it's a religious conflict. But
when
actually,
really it's a political, socio-economic.
Political, and then the injustice, social.
Do you think our president knows that?
I think he should know. As a matter of fact,
Did GMA know it? Did GMA know that?
Well,
because matalino yun.
Oh, she should know kasi her father,
Oo nga, no?
Diosdado Macapagal.
Diosdado
My
Macapagal.
husband, my late husband was a cabinet member of Diosdado Macapagal. At one time, he had two Muslims sitting in the cabinet. Since what? From Cotabato. And my husband from the island provinces. There were two cabinets sitting.
So at least tama ang advice na kukuha niya.
Oh.
Meron ba ang nag-advisor tong presidente natin ngayon about Muslim
I'm
Mindanao?
sure mayroon, pero hindi ko alam kung sino.
Si Deles. Siya yung sa OPAP eh. I'd like to move the topic just slightly, still in Mindanao. I was conferred datu by Faad Kiram. And I interviewed in this program, in this show, the cousin who he said is bogus, si Ismael. And just last week, I got a text message from Prince Omar of the Sultan or Faud Kiram's group, Fuad. Sultan Fuad, and saying that this guy was arrested sometime in Malaysia because he was giving fake visas and whatnot. You're saying before the show, hindi lang dalawa naglalaban dyan, maraming sultan.
Marami.
Please tell us quickly, ano ba sitwasyon dyan?
Kasi ganito yan, the Sultan Ismail Kiram, the uncle,
yes,
pinsan ng mga father ng mga Kirams ngayon, no? And the father of Fuad, he was the reigning sultan recognized by government. He was the one who signed a protocolar document of cession in behalf of the Philippine government, giving to the Philippine government sovereign rights over Sabah. But retaining the proprietary rights.
Okay.
Now, when the Sultan Ismail Kiram passed away, yung heir apparent niya naging sultan, yung eldest son niya si Mahakutta Kiram, also recognized by Marcos. In fact, the coronation was... And Mahakutta Kiram made his eldest son as his heir apparent, as the crown prince. So,
not Fuad.
No. Fuad is the brother of Mahakutta Kiram. Now, nung namatay si Mahakutta Kiram, this crown prince was still a minor, bata pa. So that is when yung a multiplicity of pretenders came into the picture. Marami pa, mayroon pa hindi Kiram.
Meron pa iba?
Mayroon pa hindi Kiram. Kung Kiram, at least they belong to the royalty, oo. Pero mayroon pa hindi Kiram na
May solusyon ba po dyan? And is it important? Is it significant?
Well, the Malaysian government would want to identify
who it is.
And then to drop the claim or to settle the claim, it should be the Sultan and his council, the Ruma Bintara or the cabinet.
But while they're not settling, mananalo ang Malaysia.
Exactly. So meanwhile, I think the 99-year lease tapos na yun.
Oo nga eh. So, nananalo ang Malaysia. And may minerals yun, from what I understand.
Yeah, Sabah is the richest part. I understand, I'm told. Kasi nandoon
may
lahat.
oil
May oil.
So, nangyayari po dyan, habang hindi natin rin resolve kung sino ang tunay na sultan, ang Pilipinas din natatalo.
Yan. So, ang Philippines, I don't know naman kung ano yung ginagawa ng ating...
Well, GMA, in the last January of last year, 2009, proclaimed or identified Fuad as the Sultan by no less because it was Muhammad Bolkiah, the prince or the king of Brunei that came in and said he refused to sit with the other groups, Ismail. So I have a press release, or it was with the pictures of GMA accepting the honorary presence of the Sultan Fuad.
So, Fuad.
So, unless we resolve that issue and the government identifies who the real Sultan is and give priority to that, malaki nawawala sa ating pera dun. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, the longer the claim continues unsettled, the better for Malaysia.
Well, I guess that answers that question.
So they just pay every year $5,000.
That's all they're getting,
for
which
the
is
whole,
peanuts.
For the whole area.
Which is peanuts.
Yeah, which is really...
Ladies and gentlemen, here you go. It's another situation where because you only know so much, what happens is bad management, poor management, and because you don't have enough information, it's all the wrong decisions. Now, here's one priority where we can actually increase taxes or receivables due us. But the problem is, it's not important in the news. What's important is the president goes to bars. I mean, really, here we go again. Let's go to the elections, ma'am. You're very familiar. You're one of the lead conveners of Lente. You were down there in the special elections in ARMM. And you were there on behalf of the Legal Network for Truthful Elections. Puro mga abogado po, mga may advokasya. Tell us your short experience. You were telling me before the show, and some of the people in Lente now were telling me the same thing when they were down there. Walang COMELEC.
Wala nga.
Ano ba naman, what's with this COMELEC?
Actually, the special elections were to be conducted in 6 municipalities, but Lente organized 7 task forces. 1 in each of the 6 municipalities and 1 based in Marawi, kasi we expected fireworks, magulo.
Oo nga po.
Pero as it happened, wala. Nothing happened. Wala naman.
Ando doon ba ang COMELEC? Mga representative?
Wala. Yung mayroon mga questions na that we wanted to ask, wala kayong mahanap na COMELEC doon.
In the last election in 2010, in the middle of this year, we introduced what was, well, it's been in the Constitution, it's a Republic Act that we have automatic election systems.
Yes.
Smartmatic was introduced, and in the last week alone, ang daming ingay lumalabas na ang SENPEG, tsaka yung mga AES watchdogs, naglalabasan sa dyaryo. Ang problema, mainstream media does not want to bring it up. I don't understand why in talk programs they're not there. And as well as basically a lot of the broadsheets, they're only relegated to back inner pages. It's not such a big deal, but it is a big deal because democracy and truthful election is really where we begin. Correct me if I'm wrong, which is why it's one of your advocacies.
That's right.
Now, sinasabi po ng COMELEC ngayon, sinasabi po ng AES watch groups, that's SENPEG, the Philippine Computer Societies, there's about 6 conveners, 6 people, 6 groups that came in. They're saying, ang COMELEC ay sundan ang sinabi ng Supreme Court na ilabas mo yung mga dokumento, pakita mo sa mga AES groups.
Ayun sa batas.
Ganun po sa batas.
Kasi mayroon naman na batas.
Now, I realize COMELEC is an independent constitutional body.
Yes.
But do they have a right to be independent of the Supreme Court? Hindi ata tama po.
Hindi.
Bakit kayang-kaya nila wag pakinggan? That was in late August. Yung lumabas yung batat na desisyon na yun sa Supreme Court.
As a matter of fact, as early as last year, naghingi na yung SENPEG, ito yung source code.
Opo, hindi binibigay.
Hindi.
So
for
what
one
is
reason
wrong?
or another.
You can't say one reason or another. So in other words, these elections that we've had, although your candidate was no less than Pinoy.
Yeah, of course.
Who is seemingly the popular president anywhere you go. Seemingly.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind him. Kasi talagang po, maybe that's why we don't have a revolution. But if somebody else won, let's say Gibo won or somebody else won, baka lahat sila, baka everybody wants to question it. But with COMELEC, the way they are, tama ba yan ginagawa nila? Pag sinabihan ka ng Supreme Court.
Mali.
How come they're getting away with it?
Even Congress kowtows to the Supreme Court. Kung anong decision ng Supreme Court, sumang-ayon yung Congress.
You believe in Lente?
Yes,
Why?
Definitely. Because I have seen how Lente works. And I have seen how fearless Lente.
Mga batang abogado po yan.
Mga abogado. Maski saan sila pumupunta. Even the most dangerous part of the country, pinuntahan nila. So, I believe...
Which is the role of COMELEC. Ladies and gentlemen, just to give you a short brief, I invited Commissioner